Hello, I'm Askar Relief with the latest news from Kazakhstan. 21 inmates escaped from the maximum security prison of Aktau on Tuesday. Reportedly, two unidentified cars approached the building and opened fire at guard towers. Several people were killed in the ensuing shootout.
I can't say anything. The Justice Minister Rashid Turuzbekov avoids talking to journalists about the recent mass escape of convicts from the prison. It was quite obvious he was frustrated about the incident. 21 inmates escaped the maximum security prison 172/1 in western Kazakhstan. 7 of the convicts were killed and several wounded in the ensuing shootout. No casualties among the prison officers were reported.
Soldiers of the Aktau Army Unit number 6656 opened fire at escapers. There are dead and wounded amongst them. Return fire was opened from a location near the prison by unidentified persons who wounded one soldier.
It was established that the escape was organized and supported from the outside. The return machine gun fire at guard towers was opened from 2 cars at 5 in the morning. By Tuesday evening, 7 inmates were caught. Criminal cases were filed against them, while the police launched a special operation to catch the others.
The operation is carried by the Interior Ministry. I believe you should address any question about the matter to them.
All the regional police departments have received bulletins with pictures and details on every escaped convict, most of whom are young people of up to 30 years old. The escapers include criminals charged with hooliganism, murder and even terrorism. According to one version, the main group of escapers belong to a radical religious group.
Meanwhile, anthrax caused the death of already 2 people in the Pavlodar region. Anticipating more cases of the disease, doctors have set up a separate section of the hospital to cope with the infection.
On Tuesday, the number of anthrax victims increased to 7 as a woman died in the Pavlodar resuscitation department. The doctors set up entire ward for possible anthrax patients as their number is expected to grow further.
We hope for a favorable outcome because the patients are receiving treatment. Everything is under control.
Officially, 2 anthrax cases were lethal. However, residents of villages of Karakol and Rubrovka, the epicenters of the outbreak, say the number of victims is higher. People complain that the settlements were quarantined, but residents are not receiving any help.
Some preventive measures should have been taken just in case. They could have at least prescribed us some pills or injections, but no one visited us, although the authorities promised to send over doctors.
Representatives of the sanitary and epidemiologic station refused to comment villagers' claims. Meanwhile, the healthcare ministry reports that all necessary anti-epidemic measures are being taken.
There are 80 people at risk in total and all quarantine measures are being undertaken. As of Tuesday, we have no more patients diagnosed with anthrax.
At the moment, 3,000 cattle remain in the quarantine zone. According to the preliminary data, 6 animals have died of anthrax. The police have instigated a criminal case to investigate the causes of the infection.
Just as Russia lifted the ban on the import of dried fruits from Tajikistan, it imposed new restrictions on meat from Kazakhstan. The measure is the reaction to the outbreak of the foot and mouth disease in the Akmola region. Russian veterinary agencies have tightened control at the Kazakh border. All of the transiting cargoes are carefully inspected and meat products are returned back to Kazakhstan.
Gennady Onishchenko is famous for introducing bans and limitations. Russia's chief sanitary doctor has emphasized that meat produced in Kazakhstan is turned around by veterinarians. This is a necessary measure because, according to the latest data, more than 1,000 cattle was slaughtered in the area of the foot and mouth disease outbreak.
The foot and mouth disease is more of a veterinary issue, although men can also be infected. We know the situation in Kazakhstan. It frequently changes just like in Russia. Everything, however, is fully under control and we have no emergency concerns.
Russian sanitary authorities are rather worried about the outbreak of another infection, the anthrax, which has already killed 2 residents of the northern Kazakhstan region. Onishchenko reminds that this problem was always present there, even though during last few years it seemed that the situation was under control. The outbreak in Pavlodar region did sound the alarm.
This is actually a very dangerous disease and we should pay attention to the cases of cattle loss and appearance of cattle burials.
The infection outbreak has already resulted in banning of the export of Kazakh meat to its partner in the customs union. This may reflect on Kazakhstan's plan to export about 5,000 tons of beef to Russia, as planned earlier. This was just a start comparing to what the country was supposed to supply by 2015, which is 60,000 tons a year. Followed by Russia, Belarus has also banned the export. This may serve as another key moment for Russia in leading further talks on the customs union.
Residents of Shanırak, the infamous problematic neighborhood in Almaty, are on the edge of desperation. People are ready to organize hunger strikes and even block the highway linking the city with the airport. Their quest to legalize land lots has failed yet again.
The residents received a written rejection on June 1st, which stated that part of the land lots is located in the seismic zone. Several times, Shanırak construction interest holders attempted to protest the results of the evaluation and meet with representatives of the city council. Only on Tuesday, the deputy mayor Viktor Dolzhenkov agreed to meet with them. The press was not allowed to be present at the meeting. The negotiations lasted for about an hour and resulted in the nervous breakdown of the initiative group leader. Apparently, the mayor doesn't care about his people. Let us block the airport highway.
Shed construction interest holders of the sunny suburb residential community also claim that their problems are ignored. For the last 2 years, people demand the authorities to complete the construction and transfer the ownership of their prepaid housing. Now the group claims to lose all trust in local officials, although still hoping for the country's government to solve the issue. Unfortunately, the leader of the social housing movement, Aynur Kurmanov, is rather pessimistic about their chances.
The upper part of the city, which is a very prestigious area, thus we believe that some official wants to take away our property.
Troubles have reached the so-called sunny suburbs of Almaty, as shared construction's interest holders are calling the highest authorities of the country to solve their problems and punish the passive officials. More than 300 city residents have invested almost $21 million into the sunny suburb project, the construction of which was suspended 3 years ago. Then the stakeholders sued the contractor, and two leaders of the construction company, Aristan Nurov and Serik Bektayev, ended up in jail. Meanwhile, the general contractor, Ganivet Builder, is trying to obtain the ownership over the property.
If this is not happening, then we will have to take more decisive measures, as the administration cannot hold back the 310 shareholders. They will organize rallies and then all bets are off, as we will not control the situation.
Aynur Kurmanov, an activist protecting the rights of shareholders, knows the sunny suburb case and is confident that peaceful games with officials are not going to help. Only a major rally forced the government to finally pay attention to the problem and allocate about $1.5 billion to deal with the matter.
We can see how many companies are stealing the assets, and those who are accountable for this are getting away with it. The situation may really get extreme should it continue this way.
At the same time, the co-founders of the sunny suburbs have not seen money from the state and do not support Kurmanov's approach, saying they can solve the issue by consolidating with similar communities to attract the authorities' attention to their problem.